Ahoy and welcome. I'm Jordan Killiard, reviewing for thesoundarchitect.co.uk, and today I'm going to be having a look at Umlaut Audio's uBeat bundle, currently retailing for $199 and available from umlaut.com. Now, rather than this being an in-depth software review, what I'd like to do today is to have a quick look over the basics of the library, and then I'd like to show you how I use uBeat as a media composer who is absolutely terrible at programming drums. So, let's have a look. The uBeat bundle comes as 3 Kontakt patches: Elektro, Hip-Hop and Hybrid. You can have these as separate libraries, however buying them together in the bundle saves you nearly $100. It's a Kontakt player library, meaning that you can use it in Native Instruments' free Kontakt player, and it's NKS ready in case you have one of Native Instruments' shiny, flashy, lighty keyboard things. The bundle is a drum loop library comprising of 45 preset kits with 90 MIDI loops per instrument, and it comes in at 1.2 gigabytes. So here we are in Kontakt. We have up here Elektro, Hip-Hop and Hybrid. We're going to have a little listen through the Elektro kits first. We have a little play around and I'll show you the different odds and ends and bits and pieces. Here is Elektro kit 1. Hi-hats. Let's have a listen through some more. Now we have a lot of kits here. Let's look up, I'll show you. Factory kits is 30 factory kits, and we have a selection of sound designer ones as well. Let's grab a random kit from the middle. And what I always like to do first when I load up something like this is check how I can control the volume. In this, nothing's assigned, so I'm going to go up here to my volume and learn the CC automation and set that to my expression. Because sometimes when you load it up, it can be a bit too loud or a bit too quiet, and this way I can really easily change the volume in it without having to go into my mixer or my DAW. Right, let's have a listen through some of the sound designer kits. Let's randomly grab Neon Tunnel. Right. I've had a little listen to that. The other thing I like to do, or I found I like to do with this, is to go inside. You'll see here we have our main, we have our mixer where you can individually change the volumes of each pad. So if that was a bit... Or we can also pan them. Which I think I prefer the sound of anyway. And also inside here we have our effects. Now you'll see here as I hit each key, chain 1, chain 2, chain 3. So for each key or pad, you can assign different effects to. Now you can hear it. There's something going on here anyway. So this is on our first one. Distortion is switched on. The bus compressor. And the only thing you've got to be slightly wary of is if you are wanting to, say, adjust this C here, and if you think about it for a second and accidentally press another one and then make a change, you're changing that key. So you always need to make sure you've pressed the key first before you make any changes to it. And what I was going to say is you can't do it in these bits, but in global, you can head into the filter. We can turn the filter on. You can hear what that does. Actually, I tell you what. This, when you hit the key as well, it jumps along all that. So let's go back to global, and then we can assign in the filter. I'm going to assign this to my mod wheel, so then I can mod wheel all the way down, so that's cutting it all off. And if I slowly bring it back up, and that I find useful, and I use it all the time. Let's go back to global again. You can take that a step further if you really wanted, and you could assign the resonance, right click, learn CC automation. I'm going to assign this to, for the fun of it, just to my breath, CC, and then let's see how we can. And you can deafen yourself. I can find a better example. That's what we need to do. Let's change the type. Just because my playing on drums is absolutely terrible, let's look at the MIDI files provided. So we're on Elektro. Actually, let's just use any of them because it doesn't matter. But for each different kit, there is a separate folder of these MIDI loops here. You can see. Oops, excuse me. But let's just go into the first one and just see what happens, because it's good fun. And this is where it is useful having your mod wheel or something set up to one of the filters. Right, and then we can also change so that's me just changing this effects one here, and if I click on this green pad here, that'll bring up that. Right, so let's move on to the hip-hop uBeat. What's it got? I'm going to do what I did before and stick on global. I'm going to assign my mod wheel to the cutoff. Turn it on. let's listen through one of the MIDI kit preset. I'm using my mod wheel. And again, remember we can change things. And remember again, all these things you can assign to a MIDI CC, so I'd really recommend, if you want to get creative with this, is, and see, so now I've assigned to my breath this tune knob here, so when I play this back, and from in here also you can change the pan. Right, let's move on down so we can have a little listen to the hybrid patch. Let's pick a random kit. Dun, 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 dun. Let's have a listen through MIDI file, hybrid by kits, and we're on kit number 12. And let's and again you can hear the effects. That's just the effects you can pretty much hear. So let's turn off some of these things. Now let's see what else we can do to try and make this. Let's turn you for a sec. Okay, we'll click on that, and then that lets us change some things here. Right, I think it's much more fun to play around with this again. Excuse me. Right, now in Cubase I had a little play around with uBeat Hybrid, and what I did is, again, because my drum programming is not the best sometimes, in here, as we went through earlier, I found a loop that I liked. Well, it wasn't actually that one really, or was it? And if you'll find just here, once you've got a MIDI clip that you like, there's a little set of arrows here. If you click on that, you can then drag it straight up into your DAW, and then you get it. And let's listen by itself. No, this is... Actually, let me just... No. That's actually sitting on Elektro at the moment, but the MIDI loop, what I did with it is I wanted something that was a bit slower. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to try and use this library for the kind of stuff that I might write, which doesn't usually sound like... So I thought, well, how can I make this library work for me? So I wanted a slower beat, and what I did... is I stretched it all out. So I want it to be twice as long. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I want to stretch this out so that it then becomes 16. Let's listen to that by itself. Excuse me. So what I ended up with was something that sounded like this. Actually, I tell you what, before we bypass this. And then I did what I've already explained before, which was assigning on the effects channel under global, under the filter, I assigned my mod wheel to the filter cutoff. And then I get rid of this. And then I played it through with the filter. But I thought it was sounding a little bit flat. So then I went to my trusty Sound Toys, stuck a bit of Echo Boy on it. So instead of sounding like that, and then I stuck a bit of piano on it as well. And then after that, I stuck some guitar and some bass on it as well. So let's listen through quickly the whole thing. So, yeah, that came from starting off with something that sounded like that. Oops, sorry. And then we got something that sounded like the piece that I had there. That short little kind of loop. And then I tried the same thing with the hip-hop patch. No idea what MIDI file I used for that, but I did the same thing again. I picked a MIDI file that I liked from the included MIDI files in hip-hop, and then I dumped it here in Cubase, stretched out a bit. And again, I did the whole filter thing. So, nothing particularly complicated about that, but what I did is I just turned something that I originally wouldn't have thought of, like just whatever one, I can't remember what it was, but the hip-hop. So I'm taking kind of bits and pieces like that, and I'm using it to kind of create very different kind of simple loops. Well, I hope you found this useful. If you like what you've heard, then please head over to Umlaut at umlautaudio.com, where you can pick up the uBeat bundle for $199. As ever, you can catch us at thesoundarchitect.co.uk for more features, reviews and news, over in our Facebook group at facebook.com/thesoundarchitect.co.uk, or on Twitter at sounddesignuk. And of course, you can catch us over on YouTube, youtube.com/sounddesignuk. Thanks very much for listening.